I want to show you how to get into the recording from today's class. I promise I'll get better at being a better recording in the classroom. Today was kind of a mess up. And also, when you finally get to the video of today's class, if you want to watch it, please skip the first 4 minutes. It's basically just me trying to figure out how to get going with the recording. So after the first 4 minutes, it looks like we're good to go there. Thanks for your patience. I want to make this new technology inside of Blackboard work for us. Alright, so to get to the video recording today's class, we click on our class, of course. And then on the left-hand side, go to WebEx Meeting. And then under Event Recordings, this quick launched event is from today. I should have named it something more appropriate. Sorry, I left the default in there, but you can tell because it's Friday, February 3rd. So then View Recordings. Now this next window that comes up is what confused me. You can click on each one of these links. The link you want is the third one, the MP4 one. And you may not even be seeing that right now. And if you're not seeing it, then you maybe need to wait for it to download, or also you might have to install the Cisco network recording player. There might be several things that your computer will ask you to either add onto your computer or install and run a program so that it has an add-on to run this video recording stuff from WebEx, or even when you get into a WebEx meeting live. Anyway, you'll eventually you'll get to the MP4, and when you click on that, it is just a movie. So this was my screen that we were looking at when we got started. You'll want to skip to about 4 minutes before you hit play, and then you'll hear what we were doing in class. Okay, so don't need to hear me twice. In the first part of the recording, after the 4 minutes, I go through the Chapter 2 assignment and whatnot, so hopefully that will help you with what needs to be done and what I'm looking for and things like that. A couple of things I wanted to recap with everyone, though, is just a reminder that your exercises for Chapter 2 are due tonight at midnight. Exercises all semester long can be submitted late for no penalty. I know that's kind of weird for a teacher to tell you that, but the exercises are made to prep you for the problems, and the problems, when those are due, they are due with a final due date. Well, now here's the extra kicker on that. You guys can, as long as you have the exercises and problems completed, even if they are not correct, they still count, because as soon as the problems are due, then I reveal the solutions and you get to look and make sure that you have the right numbers. And if you don't, I put the responsibility back on you to check your work and make sure you know what you did wrong, or get a hold of me so I can work you through what you're doing wrong so you can understand the correct way to do things. The problems completely prep you for each test for each chapter. So it's important that you do understand how to get those correct. All right, and I did mention that problems cannot be turned in late. If you have a catastrophe and you need to work with me on that, I would allow you to do a different set of problems for half credit. That's in the syllabus if you want to review that. Okay. So this weekend and I'm sure you'll be working on problems this weekend, or some of it, and then Monday they're due. Monday your problems are due at midnight. Now on the fourth problem, the movie that goes with problem 2.4, I have had some students have problems running that movie. I'm going to look at that and see if I can't figure out what's wrong with it. Because that is a problem that is a little bit hard to understand, and it's very much like your test problem, so I really do want you to understand that. Okay, and lastly, I did not talk today in class about automobiles and automobile expenses. And it's a really small piece of what you're working on this chapter, but you do have a transaction that you have an asset of an automobile in one of your problems, and then you have an automobile expense in another one of your problems. So I want to explain to you that an automobile, buying a car, the car is an asset, and it stays an asset, and it stays on your books as the full value of that asset until you sell it. I know that sounds like it can't be true, because you know that when you buy a car and you drive it off the lot, it's already depreciated. You've heard those terms. You do count depreciation for your automobiles, but you account for depreciation completely separate from the asset itself. And until you sell your car, you leave it on your books under the full value, but you do have a way to calculate the book value of your automobile through your depreciation accounts. So depreciation is down the road. I don't want to get you confused with that now, but I just want to remind you that you don't touch your automobile account in any other way until you do depreciation. So when you have an automobile expense, so let's say you took it in for service and you had an oil change, or you bought tires or something like that, that is an expense under the expense accounts, clear over revenue and expenses. So the automobile expenses go there, and then you would pay for them with cash, or you would owe your vendor through accounts payable. So that was just one thing I wanted to touch base on, is automobile expenses don't affect the actual car account or the automobile account. All right, that kind of wraps up chapter 2. I will be traveling this weekend, so if you have any questions for me, I will take with me like my solutions and stuff like that. So if you have any questions, don't feel shy. Go ahead and use the Remind app to ask me a question, and I'll do my best to get back with you as soon as possible. But at least on Sunday morning I would be able to get back with you guys so that you have your questions answered before the Super Bowl. And I hope you have a great weekend.